Welcome to the bold analysis. Finally, the UDA party has kicked out Cleophas Malala as the UDA Secretary General. This is a story that in this bold desk I have been following keenly, and I wanted to see the end game. So confidently, I cannot analyze because I've been following what started since that broad-based thing was formed, then all the way to the removal of Malala. And I don't seem to buy, my observation is a bit divergent from what people are seeing, because something happened. Immediately, William Ruto announced that cabinet, that broad-based cabinet. There was a meeting that was held in Serena Hotel. This meeting was convened in Serena, and I've been waiting to find out who called that meeting, because it was allegedly a meeting of Western leaders, young Turks. So the person that even spoke about that meeting clearly was Selassie. I think I analyzed it and I showed you his video here.
Yesterday, I was called in a meeting at Serena Hotel. So hiyo mkutano at Serena Hotel, I didn't know what it was all about. I thought that it was the meeting of elected members of parliament. So when I went to the meeting, kufika napata Rashid Echesa, napata Rashid Echesa na Kilio, Sifuna, Osoti, and others. When I saw that, niliamua nikasema hapa siwezi kaa. I went out of that meeting intentionally because yeye Kilio ako katika the Secretary General wa UDA. Mimi siko katika UDA. Mimi niko opposition, niko kwa Gen Z. Niko under the movement called Gen Z. Naona pala kina Sifuna ana support huko upande wa serikali. Rashid ana support. Sasa tu wanasema ati sasa ati Waluya ati watu wa Western ati wajakuwa captured in, interest zao hazijakuwa well captured in. Mimi nataka niulize hiyo vitu hiyo ni vitu ya ujinga. Siwezi jinvolve ndani ati declaration Kakamega declaration. Kwanza nataka Echesa resign kama kuwa chairman wa hiyo parastatal. Cleo resign kutoka Secretary General wa UDA. Naye Sifuna naye adenounce mambo ya huko kwa sababu yeye ndiye wamekuwa kisukuma baba weaken the opposition.
And that meeting was called by Edwin Sifuna. So people who attended were Sifuna, Malala, those SG of ODM, SG of UDA. Then there was Hamisi. Selassie was called but stayed halfway and left. And a host of other young politicians from Mount Kenya. And something happened that there was some clamor for Western unity. But what I seem not to understand is why the appointment of a Paranya to cabinet would actually create that much of the clamor for Western unity. Probably, when I saw these young politicians meeting and talking for Western unity, one of the interpretations I made out of it that could be that these MPs, someone was promised something that probably we are going to give you a CS position or something. And then you'll make your way and get with it. In fact, let me tell you, there is some reports emerging that William Ruto had purposed to change his cabinet after 2 years and give other UDA members an opportunity to serve in cabinet. That his agreement was never for some of these people to serve for 4 years. The reshuffle was deemed to happen because some were only to serve for 2 years, then they will be sent packing, they'll be given other assignments, and other people brought up. I saw someone arguing that way. But after that meeting in Serena, the leaders converged 2 days later in Kakamega Golf Hotel. The meeting in Kakamega Golf Hotel was then skipped by the DAP and the ODM caucus. Sifuna and the DAP leaders and even Caleb Amisi, the ODM side, they did not attend that UDA, that Western caucus. They did not attend that meeting that was supposed to be held in Kakamega Golf Hotel. But someone had an information about what happened. And I want us to listen to Savula, because Savula said he met Raila a day before the meeting in Kakamega Golf Hotel. And this is what Raila said.
Convene this meeting with the media to give a rejoinder to what has happened today in Kakamega. Prior to holding the meeting that has taken place today at Golf Hotel, last night I consulted the Azimio leader Raila Odinga, who was in Mombasa, on whether to attend the meeting or ignore. He gave me express instruction to lobby all members of parliament from Western to skip the meeting, both from Azimio and non-Azimio MPs, because the meeting was not going to discuss anything tangible in regard to the Luhya community. If there are issues regarding development, a budget of a country is not done by a Secretary General of a party. Budget is done by the executive, comprises ministers, and is taken to Parliament for approval. It is not discussed in a hotel. The meeting agenda was to discredit the current leadership of leaders in Western Province, led by Prime Cabinet Secretary Wycliffe Musalia Mudavadi, Speaker of the National Assembly Moses Masika Wetangula, and the current nominee for cooperative slot Wycliffe Oparanya. Those are our current leaders in government. We are standing by those leaders, and it has been displayed today. Natembeya has no political spine whatever. He has led today a one-man guitar. Natembeya himself was a guitarist, and the dancer was the outgoing Secretary General of UDA, Cleophas Malala.
So Savula is the deputy governor in Kakamega, and there was from DAPK, where the governor is from ODM, Fernandes Baraza. So that meeting in Kakamega Golf Hotel happened. Sifuna and the ODM team and a host of other ODM allied members from Busia and Kakamega skipped the Kakamega Golf Hotel meeting. And then the team that went there, when Malala and the team went there, they castigated the ODM wing for being saboteurs, and that they're sticking with ODM while someone is pushing Mulembe consciousness. So this is, I would want you to listen to a couple of a speech from some of the attendees of that Kakamega Golf Hotel meeting, dubbed as Mulembe Unity Forum.
Weta kule kwa assembly. Wakati waliunda baraza la mawaziri, deputy president akapata nafasi karibu 7. Mataka kuniambia hiyo nafasi ilikuja tu. Watu ukana mahali fulani wakakubaliana. Si walikaa mahali wakubaliana? Rais mwenyewe akapata yake sijui ngapi. Sasa kuonyesha nyinyi kwamba nyinyi Waluhya hamuna nguvu at all. Na ile nafasi ambayo tunashikilia kule mbele ni tokenism. Mudavadi alipewa ngapi? Kwa hiyo meza ya watu watatu Mudavadi alipewa ngapi? Mudavadi alipewa ngapi? Alipewa kitu inaitwa hakuna. Wetangula wile mnasema alikuwa kwa assembly, yule alipitisha finance bill ambayo leta matatizo. Yeye alipewa ngapi? alipewa moja na akapatia shemeji yake. Hiyo ndio tabu ya Mluya sasa. We don't have any say. Unaweza kaa kule mbele useme wewe namba 3. Raila hajawahi kusema hii namba 3. Lakini kwa hii serikali juzi ya mabadiliko paka ndugu yetu akapata kitu, alipewa nafasi ngapi? Nafasi ngapi? Namba ngapi kwa serikali? Raila anapewa nafasi 4, nafasi 5 kwa sababu ako na numbers, ako na watu. Jamii yake yote inamuunga mkono. Waluya wanamuunga mkono, si ndio? Kwani nyinyi mnataka kusema kwamba tukikaa pamoja sisi kama jamii hatuwezi kupewa share yetu kubwa? Ile ya kuitia kitu kitoka kama kulu. Unajua kulu? Mtakubali hiyo maneno ya kulu? Mimi nataka kurekesha heshima kwa mtu anaitwa Mluya. Tutembee na kifua mbele. Ama namna gani? Tukijua kwamba ile meza ambayo masuala ya taifa yanajadiliwa, sisi tuko pale. Na wakitukataza tukiondoka serikali inaanguka. Ama namna gani? Numbers zimefanya Raila amekuwa deputy president kwa hii miaka yote. Maana wakati Mheshimiwa Ruto na Uhuru walikuwa na matatizo, Mheshimiwa Raila aliingia pale. Ama namna gani? Alifunguliwa mlango kwa sababu alikuwa na numbers. Ruto akaambia wewe kama unaleta mchezo wewe, Raila ameleta numbers. Za Waluya zilikuwa ndani. Saa hizi kumekuwa na mzuko kidogo kati ya president na deputy. Raila ameingia pale. Ama namna gani? Kwa sababu ya nini? Ya numbers. Hata wakati wa Kibaki, watu wakipigana 2007, Raila alifanya handshake akaingia kwa serikali. Kwa sababu gani? Waluya wangu, nini mmetushinda sisi? Weka kura moja zetu kwa kikapu kimoja. Nini mmetushinda watu yangu? Watu ambao tumesoma, we are educated, we are informed. Sisi Mwenyezi Mungu ametubariki dunia mzima. Mvua inanyesha, wamama wanajifungua, kuweka tu kura yetu kwa kikapu kimoja. Nini mmetushinda watu wetu?
Now, that is what happened in that meeting. But at some point, I understood one thing. I interpreted one thing. Yeah? The Nembe Unity meeting was only carved by different. The ODM team, Sifuna and the Caleb Amisi team, they are only pushing to threaten ODM kidogo. Because what happened? Caleb Amisi was given vice chair of PAC in the new parliamentary realignments. But Malala got trouble because the next day Joe Halende, some gentleman, stormed the UDA headquarters along Ngong Road and declared that Malala was no longer the UDA Secretary General.
Jambo nyote, kwa majina ni Joe Halende, Chairman, founding members wa UDA party. Today we are here to confirm that one Cleophas Malala has abdicated his role and his duty as the Secretary General of the ruling party. And as you are all aware, the critical role or the function of the Secretary General of UDA party is the spokesperson of the party. He communicates, initiates meetings on behalf of the party. Clearly, one Cleophas Malala has joined our opponent. He is supporting the Tawe movement. He is supporting agendas that contradict the ruling party. He has gone against our party leader. He is on the forefront against the formation of broad-based government. And I'm here to confirm that he is no longer the Secretary General of UDA party. I, Joe Halende, will be taking over as the Secretary General of UDA party. Going forward, UDA party is going back to its members. UDA party was formed as people-centered party.
Now, when this statement was made, you know, I want to tell you, This is how our politics primitively is done. Primitively, and I'm using the word primitively because a ruling party that have all the structures, it is the same goonism politics, hooliganism politics, is that Halende went and declared that that Malala was never the ODM, the Secretary General of the party. And I can tell you, it was just a way of sending the signal. And they had sent a lawyer, but and he announced himself as the de facto Secretary General of the party. So it was already a signal that was sent. And I was feeling, because the UDA party have structures, what they would have done better by just sending Malala away. The next day, Malala also organized goons. And when goons went there, goons rushed to the party. The chairperson of the party, Cecil Mbarire, was in town. Coincidentally, Cecil Mbarire was in town. And then Cecil Mbarire rushed to the party headquarters. And when she rushed there, she also issued another presser on how and called an urgent neck.
To come to the party to cause mayhem and to hurt others. We are a party that believes in the rule of law. We are a party with very clear ways and means of dealing with our conflicts, and we do not in any way support what has happened today and the goons that have been brought to the party headquarters to bring here. Therefore, I wish to announce that we are going to have a National Executive Committee meeting, NEC meeting, and it's an emergency meeting on Friday to resolve the matters that have emerged in the party since yesterday. I wish to assure all our members that as the NEC, we shall make sure we resolve those matters in a fair and best way possible, and the party will be back on its feet, and that will not allow what we've seen happen to continue. So be rest assured that we've taken this matter very, very seriously, and will take the necessary action on Friday after the National Executive Committee meeting. And we'll be able to announce to our members and to public the decisions of NEC, because that is where decisions are made. Our decisions are not made in the streets. Our decisions are not made through political hooliganism. Our decisions are made by the laid down organs of the party and structures. Ningetaka kuchukua hii nafasi to come to the party to cause mayhem and to hurt others. We are a party that believes in the rule of law. We are a party with very clear ways and means of dealing with our conflicts, and we do not in any way support what has happened today and the goons that have been brought to the party headquarters,
so that they will deliberate on the development of the party. And in fact, I can tell you that the stage was set for Malala to be removed. And I think they would have just done it in a ceremonial manner. Even if you wanted to remove Malala, they would have still done it in a more respectful manner, because one member goes to the party and declares himself the Secretary General. And of course that provokes Malala. Malala mobilizes some youths. They go there, and then a crisis is created. So when the NEC goes and meet, I'm wondering, was Malala been removed because someone walked to the party and declared? No. There was already a ground for removal. But they had to create a crisis. And then on Monday or Friday morning, Malala has been removed. So what happened? That emergency NEC meeting was convened. And from the reliable reports I've been getting is President Ruto made a call midway. Because what they wanted to do, that NEC wanted to subject, there was Malala and there was also Omar, to retain Malala and pick Omar. And they wanted to subject that decision to some voting amongst the NEC members, because there were sharp divisions. And they could not reach on a more conclusive decision. So just a moment before they subjected that debate to some quick voting there, President Ruto made a call and insisted that Hassan Omar should be picked as the Secretary General of the party. So, Secretary General has been picked. In fact, personally, we may not have a problem because that transition was long overdue. Malala had been having issues even with the elections board during the current elections that have been going on. Now, the merger between ANC and UDA with Malala still as the UDA Secretary General was not tenable because Malala also came from ANC. And that would not have created a very good picture. And I understand that even Mudavadi would have vouched for a more neutral SG for their merger instead of Malala. But the gist of it is Malala was removed and the stage, so many players, so many traps worked for removal of Malala. That Western Unity Forum, on ODM side, they were threatening ODM so that they can get decision, they can get something. But Malala was feeling like the new broad-based government, the youths have been left out. Probably he was supposed to be appointed as a CS or something, but he was left out. So decided to do something to checkmate the UDA party. But I think the decision to remove Malala has been made based on different factors. And the first thing is this. Malala is already branded as a Rigathi point man in that Tawe movement. In that Tawe movement, they are attacking Mudavadi, Wetangula, Oparanya, except Ruto and the deputy. And probably, I want to see, there have been a lot of claim that Malala is working hand in hand with the deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua. So there are some factors, there are some factions within the party that are feeling that Malala is not in service for the ruling party, but is working for the deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua. So that is one of the factors behind the move, why Malala is getting out of it. And in fact, even during the current UDA elections, the Nairobi team, UDA chairman in Nairobi, was pitting a candidate aligned towards Gakuya, aligned towards Rigathi, and then there was another one aligned towards Sakaja. And Malala was siding with Rigathi's camp. So I think removing Malala is one of the ways to uproot Rigathi influence within the party. Remember, I told you and I had analyzed that there is a well-choreographed strategy to isolate and antagonize Rigathi within the UDA corridors. Number two, look at the person that has replaced Malala. If the same playbook that was used 2 years ago, the same political playbook is at play, then your guess will be good as mine that they would have picked a Secretary General replacement from Western. There were reports that they were looking for Namwamba to head back to the party as a Secretary General. But that poster that emerged that Namwamba and Wetangula and Moses Kuria were picked as ambassadors was intentional to tell the president that probably those fellows are vouching for the ambassadors and they're not willing to go and run the party politics. By the way, from a CS to a Secretary General of a party doesn't make a lot of sense unless a Secretary General without an SG without portfolio, a position that was held by Tuju. Now, Ruto is realigning the party away from the central base. Look at Mombasa. He has picked Hassan Omar from Mombasa. So the Secretary General is cleverly coming out back to Mombasa. The central team was saying the Secretary General position was supposed to be a preserve of them. It was Veronica Maina, then people voted for Ndindi Nyoro, but clearly it's coming out of it. So it's part of realignment of the party. It's most likely, now that it's gone to Hassan Omar, Hassan Omar is equally competent. I am just wondering the ground that will be used to snatch that SG post from Hassan Omar to someone else. It's just temporary, but I think that is what was targeted. The other third thing I'm seeing is Ruto is pushing UDA optics in the coast because something very interesting is happening in the coast. When he picked Joho as the ODM, as a CS, the UDA caucus there, ODM is exiting the ODM space. Joho is exiting the ODM space. But you can see the kind of reception that it received mobilized by ODM's Joho. But the next day, Mohamed Dichopevu was heckled. And that heckling was showing that they were disapproving UDA. So I think what is happening in ODM also, ODM is supposed to pick a deputy party leader. And Mombasa, Abdul Swamad and Gideon Mungaro from Kilifi are all angling for that position. So what UDA is speaking is to push optics in the coast. Because their coast stake they're not improving, they're not doing well. And probably they will say if you give you Secretary General, they're trying to communicate something there. So that could be one of the things happening. And lastly, there could be some move for ODM UDA merger, and the Ruto and Raila is pushing a dream team. So you cannot underestimate the influence of ODM in making sure Malala is pushed out. And someone was asking, if you have Raila and Oparanya under you, because now Ruto as we speak have Raila and Oparanya, do they need Malala? So Malala's services and political optics in UDA have been rendered, now gone redundancy, looking at the political realignment. Thank you.